Hi, Keisha here of New World Mind and Spirit. And I am filming via Zoom right now because I don't know, with all the fire that's happening right now and this full moon in Sagittarius and what's happening with all the earth. I think it's just burned through my computer and like exploded my camera, my regular recording system. So I have to figure out what's going on there. It's just like fried for some reason. But here I am using our Zoom instead. So I'll be brief. Obviously, there's so much going on, and it just takes a lot to digest and just you know, as far as everything that's been happening the past few days and feeding off of what's been happening the past few months, and it's just absolutely insane. So first of all, obviously, it's so obvious, sad to hear about this, what has happened with Mr. Floyd, with his family, and not just him, but with pretty much every, you know, person of African descent, especially, who has been lost, not just through police brutality, but through American approved systems. This is something that's older than police brutality, and it feels really crazy to have this, spoken out in the light and spoken publicly. And it really actually makes me happy to hear so much support that's happening. And the darkness of it is, of course, why do we keep having the same issue? And the short answer to that is because this is just another system in place, another reaction to the encroachment of basically white male supremacy. This is why our country was founded. And I know it's an uncomfortable truth, but this is a full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a time of truth. So it's very appropriate that this is now coming out, that people are kind of seeing things for the truth the way they are. But it just seems that whenever one old system was dismantled, another one took its place. Obviously there was slavery. When that failed, we had Jim Crow, we had lynchings and burnings, attacks by the KKK. When that failed, it was basically legally put in its place through civil rights movement. We had mass incarceration, the war on drugs, and it just continues on and on. And police brutality is probably something that has been here the whole time. Like, it just was a way for the status quo to enforce with violence the status quo, basically, of keeping non-white males in check through violence. So, but the beauty of this, though, what I'm seeing is it is incredible to see this outpouring of support for Mr. Floyd, for Breonna, for all of the people that have been lost, on no matter what side of the political fence you're on, no matter what color, your background. This is something that would never have happened 100 years ago. 100 years ago, men were lynched. It actually was not just a swept under the rug thing. You can actually pull up old photos of lynchings as late as the 60s, probably, especially in the 20s and 30s, where Black men were not just beaten and killed, but actually became a whole community event. You see people with children, just all staring at these brutalized corpses of Black men, and often Black women and children as well. And this is a part of our history that we haven't really truly faced. And when we don't really truly face things, they just tend to resurface over and over until we are facing it. And it looks like we're actually starting to face it. And the only thing I can just ask is that we all just practice compassion, and we all practice love, because in the face of compassion and love, none of these things could ever occur. And the thing is, if something did happen and someone lost their life, that all religious teachings, all spiritual teachings teach us there's only one right answer, and that is to empathize with the family of the loved ones and say, we're sorry that this has happened to you. How can we not let this happen again? And it's so simple, and like so childishly simple. And the fact that we are having leadership that refuses to do that is really, really, really disturbing. This is something that if you are a follower of Christ, you understand that's the proper thing to do. If you're a follower of the Buddha, you understand that's the right thing to do. If you're a follower of, of a Judaism, of Islam, this is the right thing to do. It's just super simple. We just all treat each other with respect and compassion, and we hear each other. I think it's completely bizarro world and completely, absolutely out of left field to attack people and then go to a church to pose with a Bible that's not even yours. Like, I don't care what political aspect you follow. You have to agree that that is one of the most absurd things I've ever heard. And the fact that someone could use Christianity in such a way only when it makes them look good, and not when it requires them to do the work, not when it requires them to actually walk in the shoes of Jesus and do the acts that Jesus would actually do. When it inconveniences this person, he's not a Christian. But when it is convenient for him to be a Christian, he's a Christian. And it's very, very troubling. But so just practice compassion. Just treat each other with absolute love, treat each other with absolute respect. And we should be okay. And, and it gives me hope to see so many people saying, this is not okay. This is not the way we treat each other. It's not the way we treat other Americans. So there's that. But I just pray, send your energy, send vibes to this country. And I believe, I have hope and faith that we are going to get through this. And I see in all the horror and all the terribleness, I'm seeing growing pains of a great nation. And speaking of, we are here and the full moon in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about expansion. It's about growth and it's about movement. It's very, very changeable, dynamic, fiery sign. And this is certainly what we're seeing right now. And this full moon also is sometimes known as the hot moon. There's many titles for the different full moons, but I have a card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which has, it's awesome. It has like a sexy guy here sweating in the heat. And this is basically June's full moon is sometimes called a hot moon. And I think that's appropriate. I really like this title because, number one, it is a full moon in Sagittarius. Again, Sagittarius is ruled by fire. Very combustible, changeable, dynamic energy that just likes change. And it's mutable fire on top of that. So there's a lot of change going on. And you can even see the keyword here, which says extremes. And that also seems to be appropriate for what's happening right now. Just right now with all that's happening, it's really important as well just to remember to take care of yourself and to not let yourself get too swept up in everything that's happening. You're only, one person, and you certainly should do your part to shape the world into what you think it should be, but keep in mind, that there are things happening outside of your control often, and you are not a direct player and things that happen, you just kind of sort of get swept along. But it's important to make sure you take care of yourself, make sure you unplug from things, because it is a lot of hot heat, crazy, explosive intensity happening right now. So just remember to take care of yourself for that reason. And, I kind of want to, before I leave, I just want to do a super quick tarot draw because I want to talk about a little card. So this is the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is a card that's associated with Sagittarius. And this card shows arrows going mid-air. Obviously, just out of frame, we saw there's a catalyst for this event that has caused crazy events to unfold. This is a snapshot where we're kind of in the middle of things. We're not sure where they're headed. The arrows haven't really landed yet, but we're in the middle of trying to figure out what's going to happen and where they're going to land. So, and this card is about just a lot happening. And I think this is a really good indicative card to describe kind of what's going on right now. There's a lot going on, just like this card is about a lot going on. We got obviously still in the pandemic, and we have a lot of unrest as well, that they're definitely related, definitely building on top of, because the people that are having the most unrest are the people that have been absolutely just already, you know, in bad shape to begin with, and now it's even more so. It's they're having more disaster heaped upon them, level and level and level and higher and higher. And to have this horrible thing happen again, it's just a breaking point. So what I want to do is I want to just do a little tarot draw as far as how we, represented by the Page of Wands here, how can we, as students of growth, of students of expansion, this full moon in Sagittarius, deal with all the heaviness that's happening? How can we really, you know, take care of ourselves, take care of each other? How do we deal with just this incredible, unprecedented time? And how can we take care of each other, of ourselves, and just also just refresh ourselves? You know, this is also a full moon, of course. And the full moons are about release and holding on to things. And when things are very tense as they are right now, it's not good to permanently hold on to these things. Yes, we shouldn't ignore them, and we should certainly face them and use them to better ourselves and better our lives and better the world for others. But it's important to release and transmute that information if possible. Okay, so how can we deal with all of this craziness that's happening this full moon in Sagittarius? Okay, so we got the Queen of Cups pulled in reverse. So the Queen of Cups, to me, is all about compassion and love and just really just kindness. Like, I actually consider the Queen of Cups to be one of the most kind, merciful, and compassionate energies as far as the court cards go, and even among the queens. The Queen of Cups is also about dealing with and healing our subconscious. And when we kind of think about, especially the subconscious of the nation, there's a lot of things that we kind of have tamped down. There's a lot of things that we haven't dealt with. And when I see this card, I think about letting things that have been pushed down into the depths of our soul. There's a lot of dark secrets. There's a lot of things that our nation publicly is just slow to accept about its truth. And I believe that this is a sign, a message that there's going to be a lot of subconscious agitation. And I kind of see that in its reversal, and how we have to allow these things to come to the surface so that they may be seen and dealt with and heal. So it all leads to healing. And the Queen of Cups is the queen I most associate with healing as well, and renewal and regenesis, and also just spiritual, that spiritual aspect of regenesis, and the fact that this is just a message that we need to just be kind again, just returning to that. Like, it's a very, very simple recipe. You may not agree with everyone. There are going to be, scratch that, there are going to be disagreements, and that's okay. There should be. We shouldn't all be on the same page either. Again, that's a authoritarian regime when everyone is forced to think the same. We should not, that's not America, that's not our country. We should all be able to think differently, and I hope that continues. However, it's important to extend compassion and understanding and mercy to people who are different than you, the people that look different, that think different, that act differently. You may not understand them, but it's so important to treat them with respect and treat them as human beings. Treat them as you want to be treated. And that's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a definite sense of lack of compassion and lack of empathy. that's happening right now. But it's also is about taking care of yourself. And again, I see this as another aspect of the Queen of Cups in reverse, is to take care of yourself, unplug from social media. And really, we're not asking you to turn your back and ignore things, certainly, but it's important just to alleviate the burden, just to let everything go. And it'll be there for you when you're ready to pick it up again. And you can even think about transmuting the emotions that you're dealing with. But the Queen of Cups is all about emotions. We have to deal with our emotions in a very healthy manner. Okay. All right. Well, that is it. So before I go, I want to announce my social distancing super sale for hypnosis. So if you have always wanted to try hypnosis, and hypnosis is a remarkable thing for transformation. So anything that you have been struggling through sheer willpower to bring about, like maybe to start that business, to become more confident, to lose that weight, to change the way you feel about your body, to get over that fear, get over that bad habit, hypnosis is extremely effective and can completely help you. And I'm now offering an incredible sale for a single session, $60. And this is a great deal, and definitely, reach out to me if you would like that. And if you want it for free, definitely reach out to me and ask, hey, how can I get a free session? I'm willing to work with you on that. And also, in addition, if you do take advantage of the social distancing super sale and do Zoom sessions for as low as $60, so for doing it via Zoom, I'm also going to have access to a free course called Unshakable Roots, which I rolled out a while. You can also get access to that as well. Okay. And my last announcement is next week, this Thursday, June 11th, I'm going to be doing a free heal and release energetic hypnotic session on Instagram Live. So you can find me there at New World Tarot. And it's going to be Thursday, June 11th at 7 p.m. Totally free. Just, look me up there, and I'll be doing a free session. Just something I wanted to try that's a little bit new, that also could help you to see what hypnosis is all about if you were curious. All right. Well, thank you very much. That's all I have. And just be well. Take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. And just, when in doubt, think compassion. How would you like to be treated? That's always the right answer. You can't go wrong with that. You just can't go wrong with that. All right. So be well and take care and stay safe.